Hey guys, let's see, bringing you another video. Now, welcome to something big I knew was coming, but I don't know exactly what's in it. So basically, this is a major update to League of Legends. You know, Riot themselves have said 2025, you know, is the year that things are changing, and things are changing. I've known a little bit what's in here, but honestly, not a lot. I'm going to be learning a lot of this stuff with you. I knew there was a major dev meeting, and normally I go in dev meetings, but basically, it was a really exclusive meeting that they only could invite 1 to 2 creators per region in, and obviously in the UK I'm not the largest creator. Skin Spotlights will always get that invite, and he should get that invite, so I'm going to be learning a lot of this stuff with you, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm hyped for it. I hope I'm going to enjoy what's in it, and I thought we'd do a type of reaction video. I'm sure there's a dev blog, you know, the written version as well. But I'd like to see what they're actually saying, and then obviously with a video they might show us things which hopefully will be cool. We'll say that apparently there is an Arcane thing, so what I'll do is, like, here they've got here the Arcane update. If you haven't watched Arcane yet and you don't want to be spoiled, in the description of the video there'll be a timestamp you can go to avoid that. Similar to this, so the exact same feature as this, I'll have that down there so you can ignore the Arcane element if you want to. So let's begin.
Folks, I'm Andre, also known as Meddler.
And I'm Paul, also known as Pabro. We're back with the final dev update of 2024. Today is November 8th. We just wanted to give you a warning. We will be talking about Arcane spoilers in our first section. So if you haven't finished the finale, skip to the time on the screen.
Different time in my video.
Okay, spoiler disclaimer out of the way. Let's take a moment to talk about Arcane. It's been such an amazing journey to watch the story play out. And like many of you, we're sad it's over. But don't worry, we do still have a few more things in store on the game side.
It was good.
When we got started on Season 1, we got to watch the champions in Arcane live out stories we'd already seen or knew a little bit of. Or in some cases, we got to really flesh out the backstory of some older champions.
With Season 1, Caitlyn received a visual update to better align the game and the show. And for Season 2, we're doing something similar for Victor. And tomorrow, you'll see his update hit PBE.
We're not pulling a Gangplank and disabling him because he's dead.
Well, hold on. I think you're onto something with killing Gangplank and other characters.
Hey, hang on.
Okay.
Anyway, we wanted to better represent his evolved, powered-up form we saw in Arcane, and the personality that goes along with it. Victor's update is primarily focused on updating his visuals, audio, and backstory. We want to showcase the striking evolution and changes you just saw him go through in the show. So we're going to keep the gameplay you know and love, with a slight change to his ultimate. The ult will still function largely the way it does now, but it'll get bigger with every kill until the ult is over. We wanted to mirror the feeling from Arcane when he manifests a massive, growing storm that consumes everything around
Oh my
him.
god!
We also updated all of Victor's skins. We do want to point out that because of the updates to Prototype Victor, his price will be increasing from 520 RP to 750 RP. So if you want to get him at the cheaper price, make sure you get it before his updates go live. All right? That's it for the Arcane spoilers. So right now, we'll hand things over to Steph and Chad to talk about seasons.
Very quickly, just talk about that. That's cool. Like, what can I say? We kind of knew an Arcane Victor was potentially happening. Some people said it was a skin. Some people thought it was the champion. Where is the champion? He is very different in the show than, you know, the game. So I can kind of see why they're doing it. But there we go. But the spoiler's done.
Hey everyone, I'm Chad, aka McIver. I'm the seasons lead on League of Legends.
And I'm Steph, aka 100 Piece Nuggets, or the Cosmetics Lead.
Hello, puppy.
In the last dev update, Meddler and Pabra mentioned we're introducing thematic seasons. So today, we're here to talk more about what a season is, what to expect with the theme, and what the experience is going to be like both on and off the Rift.
Over the years,
That
we've
fella gives
fleshed
me
out the
Jinx
worlds
vibes.
and regions of Runeterra, as well as various alternate universes like Star Guardian, High Noon, or Darkstar. We've highlighted these worlds in moments like summer events or narrative drops around champion releases. Now we want to take that immersion further with our new seasons.
So next year, we're going to have 3 seasons, each around 8 patches long, where we're going to follow champions around different...
Do you know what that means? That's splits, right? They're keeping 3 splits. That's what I'm guessing it is. They're keeping 3 splits, right? But it's 2 halves to each split. What the heck? So there's 3. Oh god, okay. And there's 2 acts within each. Oh, that's okay.
Regions.
A lot of people's main complaint has been, oh god, I can't play enough to warrant 3 splits. You know, I can't play enough to get back to my normal rank, and then I reset again, so they lose the interest to play. So now there's 2 acts within each season, and I'm guessing the ranked resets within each one. Not sure about that, but okay, we'll keep listening.
Each one is going to have its own theme, but we're going to have an overarching narrative that connects them throughout 2025.
And each season's theme will be the anchor for most of the content going into the game as well.
Oh.
In the past, we've had these big releases like Swarm or Spirit of Hearthhome. They're super memorable and fun, but they're also not connected to a larger integrated moment. And in seasons, we want everything to connect together.
That means
once. Things like gameplay updates, modes, mini games, and champions will mainly have a strong tie to the season's theme.
We'll have a bunch of skins that celebrate that seasonal theme, but we'll also continue to invest in a wide variety of skin lines that are unrelated to the season as well.
Okay.
So expect to see cosmetics celebrating Lunar Revel or things like bees.
Ultimately, our goal is to immerse you in the parts of the world that we're visiting.
So, like, if it's Demacia theme, the season within, you're going to get Demacia themed skins for non-Demacian champions. Like, basically, if you're a massive fan of a region and you know, oh, dude, season 3 of this year is going to be Shuriman themed, dude, I'm going to get, like, that's going to be crazy. All the stuff will be really Shuriman, and that's what you like. That's kind of cool.
From the moment you open the client to the moment you see the victory screen and everything in between.
He's blinking more now.
Enough tiptoeing around it. We know that you want to know what season 1 is. So for our first ever season, we are headed to the land of strength and domination. Noxus.
Oh, cool.
Hey everyone, I'm Mario Froxon, lead gameplay designer for League.
Can I just say, so you guys obviously as a, more typical players, I imagine a lot of you haven't had interactions with some of these people. The guy on the right genuinely is a really good dude. I've had quite a few interactions with him, chat to him, DMs here and there. He's a really good dude, and League devs have a not great reputation for like, oh, they don't really care about the game. He does. He is one of the biggest exceptions, I would say, and he truly does care about League. I will always say he's a very good dev. So yeah.
I'm Riot Oberon, project lead of the Summoner's Rift team. Next year, when you step onto the Rift, it'll look a little bit different than you're used to. We want seasons to be a way you can immerse yourself in League,
is it
especially
like
once you
Noxus
load onto
themed?
the Rift. So we have a preview of some of the updates you can expect in Season 1 of 2025.
Ooh.
We're headed to everyone's favorite region of fierce fighters, cloak and dagger magic,
Oh,
and strength.
okay, I like
above
this.
all.
This is like
Prepare
skin
to
maps.
be decimated.
That was a bit cringe.
Beyond the Noxian invasion of the map,
okay,
we've
I
also
like
made some
that.
gameplay improvements and changes for next year.
First, it wouldn't be a new season without an overhaul to the item system.
Oh, of course.
Just kidding.
Oh.
But
Bro,
there
they
are
got
some
me.
Noxian-themed boot upgrades. But it's not as
Ooh.
simple as picking them up from the shop. In fact, they come along with a new mechanic, Feats of Strength.
Ooh.
There are 3 objectives that your team can claim throughout the game. First Blood, First Tower, and first 3 of epic jungle monsters. If your team is the first to complete 2 of these 3 objectives, so for example, First Blood and First Tower, your Tier 2 boots will transform into new versions with slightly better stats.
Oh my god, what?
You'll also get access to powerful Noxus-themed boots, which you can purchase as a final upgrade. We want Feats of Strength to
Wait,
celebrate
hold up.
early
Does the other team not get that at all? Oh, I can double check. Oh no. There you go.
game successes without immediately snowballing the game out of control.
I was about to say that, like, so League of Legends in the recently has become a lot more late game centric. Like a lot of late game champs are really strong now in the early to mid game when before they weren't. But this is a very early game change. Like legit, this is like proper early game centric, which League has not done for a long time. I'm okay with that. Like legit, I like some early game champs, at least Lee Sin and stuff like that. So like, that's cool. But it's just not the direction League of Legends has gone for a long time.
Experimenting with different types of power progression to see how it feels for a reward in the early game.
Yeah, it's going to
open up
encourage
more
early game
choices
for sure.
In the late game.
We're also introducing Nexus turret respawning. An incredibly frustrating experience is just winning a late game teamfight only to lose your Nexus turrets. You kept the game alive, but at what cost?
What? They're respawning Nexus
Now it
turrets.
feels like your team is doomed to hang around in your base for another 200 years.
Oh my god, I love that.
babysitting an open Nexus.
Do you know why I love that? Do you know why I love that? I hate backdooring. I hate when someone like a Scion player or a Yone player is like, I'm not going to actually PvP. I'm just going to go side lane constantly. And eventually they just end the game by themselves. But if Nexus turrets respawn, depending, it might be a 3-minute cooldown, 5-minute cooldown. But like they eventually respawn, it won't be as easy just to do that. A non-interactive gameplay. That's a massive thumb up by me. I love that.
To give your team a better chance at coming back from these situations, your Nexus turrets will now respawn after a set time once they're destroyed.
3 minutes has
Now,
to be, right?
your team can rally for an epic comeback without having to worry about a backdoor cast-in.
Oh, they're literally XPK.
We're also adding some new minor runes to rebalance some of the vision-related
runes.
options in the domination tree. Sixth Sense. Grizzly Memento.
Can't tell what these are.
And Deep Ward.
Huh? Wait, was that? Bye-bye.
As well as a new addition to the sorcery tree called Axiom Arcanist, which makes ultimates more powerful. We also couldn't resist changing items just a little bit. So we're adding some small scope adjustments to tank items and adding a new item called Bloodletter's Curse. Well, new-ish. It'll look familiar if you've spent time in Arena. But if you haven't, Bloodletter's Curse reduces the target's magic resistance from repeated spell hits, which is sort of like an AP version of Black Cleaver.
Ooh.
Finally, let's dig into
Yes.
the biggest update of the season.
Mages
Otacon,
exist.
Bringer of Ruin. The new epic jungle monster is drawn to death and destruction. He will spawn only once at 20 minutes on either the top or bottom side of the map.
What?
Whichever side has
In
seen
the
the most
river?
champion damage and kills by 14 minutes.
Or it spawns when whichever side has had more bloodshed. That's cool. I mean, it's going to be most of the time bot lane, isn't it? Like, most of the time it's going to be bot lane.
To signal where he'll make his entrance, Otacon's arena will spawn, adding new permanent walls to that side of the map.
Oh.
Otacon's dark influence will also cause blood roses to grow periodically in the areas where champions have been killed. More death means more roses.
Oh, God.
Blood roses drop bloody petals for your entire team, which stack any number of times and last through the entire game.
What?
For each petal collected, your whole team gains a small experience and power boost. So if you see one, grab it.
Otacon has two forms, Ruinous and Voracious. Higher action games spawn Ruinous Otacon, who you might want to fight up close and personal to avoid his constricting rings of damage, which creates the perfect chance for an ace and a steal.
Oh my God.
Killing Ruinous Otacon grants bloody petals to the team who kills him and spawns a grove of blood roses in the area for anyone to collect. Voracious Otacon spawns in lower action games. He does less damage to his enemies, but as his name implies, is hungrier. As his health gets lower, he gets an increasingly more powerful drain ability based on missing health.
It's always the Master Yi dying.
The team who takes down Voracious Otacon gets a one-time rebirth buff, similar to Guardian Angel. So now you really have a
I don't know
reason
if
to
I like
force
that.
team fight.
Ooh, I
We're
don't know.
introducing Otacon for a couple of reasons. First, unless you're T1, a 20-minute Baron is pretty tough to get. So we're moving Baron's spawn back to 25 minutes and providing another mid-game macro option in the form of Otacon. Second,
Okay, hang on. So they're moving Baron back to 25. Okay, so what that actually is doing is it's moving League of Legends back to being... Oh, this is weird. It's very odd in the direction, but I kind of like it. So you've got early game-centric stuff when it comes to, the Noxus boots that you only get if you have 2 out of the 3 feats of strength. So that's early game-centric. But then this spawns at 20 minutes, which is a typical Baron spawn. But then Baron itself, the late game, like game-ending, push to the enemy base buff, is now 25 minutes. This is actually going to push a lot of games further back into being longer. So what I'd imagine Riot is thinking and doing is, when Fortnite was really popular, I noticed League of Legends got a lot quicker. They wanted to make games quicker, they wanted to make the damage faster, the movement faster, and I've always kind of noticed it was akin to when Fortnite became popular, because that's what Fortnite was. It was really quick, it was really out there, crazy, fast. And I think Riot's, Fortnite's kind of like, it's not dead, but it's not a big game massively anymore. League of Legends has survived the, Fortnite. And League of Legends needs to go back to what it is good at. And League of Legends fundamentally has always been half-an-hour games, or what typically was League. And we had some metas back in the day that it was 45 minutes was like an average game, but half an hour most people would be pretty fine with. And when you're pushing Baron spawn to 25 minutes, give it another few minutes to end out a game, typically of a first Baron, it will probably be ended pretty soon. It'll make most games about half an hour. Now, what I would say is typically pro play is always a much longer experience than it is solo queue. So if it's a 25-minute average time on solo queue, it'll be a 35-minute average time in pro play. So with average solo queue probably going to get slower because of this. Pro play will get slower. But I think that's fine. That's what League of Legends is. You know, that it's not supposed to be, oh, I'm queuing up for a game, it's going to be ended in 15, 20 minutes. Like, it became too crazy. So pushing stuff back helps with that. And again, you're still rewarded if you go more early game. You get the boot upgrade. You can try to snowball really fast. You just do a lot of death and destruction. You get a lot of kills. And then the more powerful version of the new boss will spawn at 20 minutes. You can end the game with that. I kind of like it.
Based on how Otacon plays out each game, we hope to see more different and interesting game states in both mid and late game. And we feel that designing an objective whose spawn location, form, and rewards are decided by how you play should make each game of League feel more varied.
So what I would say about the location, I think it's actually really cool that it does change the spawn from top river to bottom river. I don't love the location of the spawn, and I think for me there's a better location that they could have decided to go. So I don't like that it's just randomly in the river and there's more permanent, like, you know, just little walls. It just looks a bit weird. You have the alcoves at the top of top and the bottom of bottom. Why doesn't it go in there? Like, to me, that's the better location for it. So that's one thing I would say. Like, I'm reacting to this. I did not know this boss was coming, by the way. So I'm learning at the exact same time if you're watching my video and learning. That's my gut instinct, is you have the alcoves. They've never been anything major. It's about, looping around vision and trying to escape ganks. They would be cool to put it there, you know? That's what I would say. But, yeah.
Our goal is for every gameplay change to make League better. As we move to seasons, this remains the same. So these changes were designed for the long term. That said, we'll keep an eye on how they're landing and make adjustments if needed. But for now, Arcane and all the other updates are here to stay for good. We can't wait to see how these go as you start your
So
playing
presumably
session.
it's worth mentioning the Noxus upgrade of boots. Yeah, let's just, for example, say season 2 in 2025 is Demacia. I think that's probably an easy guess. So the boots will be the same, but maybe they'll change to Demacian themes. Maybe? Or are they just going to... No, it wouldn't make sense to keep the Noxus and then we're in Demacia. It just wouldn't make sense.
As part of building seasons, we took a look at how rewards would be part of the overall seasonal experience. That led us to updating our reward systems. That means things like event passes, champion mastery, honor rewards, etc. We felt that this was a great time to address some problems that have built up. We're going to dive into those details, so bear with us.
First, over the years, these systems have become needlessly complex. With an excessive number of currencies, unnecessary steps to craft and claim rewards, overlapping loot types, we could go on. I've been given some key fragments that you have to then craft into a key that you pair with a chest, that you open up to get another key in a chest, and some essence that you open up to get a skin shard that you pair with some orange essence or reroll to eventually get a random skin. That sort of level of unnecessary complexity going on.
Secondly, those systems are all scattered throughout the client. What you can earn, how and where you track it, etc. sucks. And third, events and the rewards being only sometimes available make some moments less rewarding to play League.
So, here are some of the changes we're making. There will always be a battle pass active, with both a free and a paid track, with the price the same as an event pass today.
Welcome to modern gaming.
You'll get pass rewards through the tracks, meaning we're removing the event tokens and shop.
There will
Oh,
be 2 passes per season, with them tying into each season's thematic. That means most of the rewards will reflect what's going on in and around the game, and fewer random rewards. We'll have the same number of passes per year at 6, with a longer average duration per pass.
We're also moving most of our scattered reward systems to the free track of those battle passes. So, most rewards will now be in one place, with systems like Honor and Champion Mastery feeding into the pass. For example, having a high Honor level will give bonus to pass experience earned.
You can earn 12 skins per year with the free pass.
hey, that's
Half
not
of these
bad.
skins will be themed to the season you unlock them in.
That's kind of
We'll
cool.
also be simplifying the loot and crafting system. Orbs will always be available, so Masterwork chests, for example, will get phased out since they serve such a similar purpose. Overall, we want the pass to be the core vessel for how you track and earn rewards. If you choose to buy the paid version, we also want it to be very clear what you're getting and how to make the most of it.
Now, these elements have a ton of moving parts to them. There's a
Honestly,
lot more-
so what I'd say, like, nobody likes to hear, like, weirdly, the money side of the business and stuff. League is a free-to-play game. It has to make money, and the way of the world, the way of gaming, is battle passes. Because battle passes do a couple things. One, it's a kind of, you know what you can achieve, within it at the beginning of it, oh, if I do that and I get to level 50 in the battle pass, I'm going to get that. It's guaranteed. Secondly, for the game company, think of it as like, it's like the split system. It's to try and make you keep playing League. It's to make you play more. That's what a battle pass is exactly doing. Not just with like every single game. It's, you need to hit level 50. You've got a month to do it. Well, you need to play a lot every day to get to level 50. So it's to kind of try to keep you as active as possible. So that's the reason for battle pass's popularity in the last couple years. So yeah.
More details than what we've talked about just here. We'll cover that all in the dev blog that's out right now. Switching gears a bit, I want to talk about another change for next year that isn't quite tied to seasons, but instead by feedback from all of you. Ranked resets. These have been a topic of a lot of conversation in recent years.
Hold up.
Particularly when it comes to feelings around how often you want to restart your climbs, how fast a climb should be, what feels rewarding versus what feels like a grind, etc. And looking back, we don't think 12 resets a year has been the right call for League. So, we're moving to 6 per year.
Oh, they're joking.
Okay, just kidding. Please put down the pitchforks.
Jeez.
We're going back to one large reset at the start of each year with no additional resets during the year.
Oh my god!
Rank system tuning in terms of the size of the January reset, the number of the games to climb on average, and other systems will be similar to the numbers we used back in 2022.
No
and
resets!
Before. That said,
oh my
there will
god!
still be 3 victoria skins you can earn, 1 for each season. If you want to earn each skin, you will need to win 15 ranked games
I did not
during
expect
that season. Again, though, neither your visible rank nor your MMR will reset except in January.
Next up, we want to chat about a potential replacement.
Sorry, I got to pause. Oh my god! So, I'm like emotional about that. That's crazy. So like, I'm not even happy for me, by the way. I'm happy for the audience members that I've constantly had over the last year say I've stopped playing ranked. I've had so many people say that because they're a parent and they can't warrant, my ranked resets 3 times in a year. I want to get to platinum. I don't have time to do it again and again and again. That's what League of Legends is. And I can't remember, I said it in a video recently. League of Legends fundamentally, yes, it should reward you if you're playing more. And it should reward you if you're playing, day in and out every year, every day in a year. And that's what this season thing's going to do. Like, if you keep playing, you're going to get all these rewards. You may get, like, titles and thematic stuff. And, the 3 Victoria skins you've got to keep active within the year. That's fine. But League has fundamentally always been that game that, yes, it can be your main game. But, Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out. I'm not going to play for a week. I'm going on holiday. I'm going to not play for a week. And League never felt that punishing if you had a break for it for 1 or 2 weeks. It was good. It was an amazing game to have a break from 1 or 2 weeks. But when they moved to your, instead of having back in the day, a 10-month season, you now have a 3-month window, and then you're going to or 3 to 4 month window, then you're going to reset again. Having that week off to play Red Dead 2, having that week off to go on holiday, it felt so much more punishing because you have less time to achieve what you actually wanted to achieve. And just the stress of, oh my god, I finally achieved my rank, and now I'm getting reset again. Are you serious? Like, that just isn't fun. And again, fundamentally, a video game should be fun. So that, to me, is a major big W by Riot. And it does show they do listen, they do care. Hilariously, if I was Riot, I would have said, I would have potentially come out with this earlier. Because the amount of people that have had so much negativity, especially within Split 3, it's been so negative that everyone's saying, what's the point? Another reset. I would have actually made this announcement pretty early. Like, they would have known that they're doing this for the last few weeks, maybe even months. I would, if I was right, said, we've heard you, don't worry, there's not going to be, there's, only 1 ranked reset per year in January. I would have done that a month ago, because at least it would have made the community fizzle down a little bit. But massive W, thank you so much. That's so good. So yeah, I'm happy about that.
A quick play that we'll be trying in some regions. It's called Swiftplay, and it's meant to be a lower stakes experience than Summoner's Rift, though with more strategic elements than you'd find in, for example, ARAM. You'll still have the same core elements that you'd expect to find in a game of Summoner's Rift, farming, snowballing, team fighting for objectives, etc. But with added changes to keep all players more competitive, like ramping gold and XP as the game goes on.
Oh, cool.
Those changes won't make it so you can suddenly jump ahead of your opponent if you're 0 and 10, but they will make it so that even if you're down, you're never completely out of the game.
More casual mode.
The fact
That's
that
not bad.
Swiftplay is also less punishing when behind should also make the mode ideal for those of you looking to play with friends you wouldn't be willing to put your LP on the line for. As mentioned, Swiftplay will be rolling out in January to replace Quick Play in select regions, so we hope you'll give it a try and let us know what you
That
think.
sounds
when
quite
it
good,
hits
to be
live.
honest.
We also have a blog dropping today with more details, so be sure to check that out. And last, but hopefully not least, we've got some changes coming to the practice tool. Over the years, you've told us that it's a useful but somewhat limited way to get better at League. The most common desire we've seen people bring up is to practice with other players, whether it's in one-on-one duels with a friend or on a full teamfight drill with a pre-made team.
Oh my god, are they
Practice
doing
Tool
it?
wasn't built with multiplayer in mind. And we've had some cautions about how League could be a lot less fun if the optimal way to get better is to spend almost all your time in Practice Tool rather than playing real games. But
What I would say to that, right? I come from a World of Warcraft background, as people know. At my peak, I was like rank 2 hunter on my server, top 200 hunter in the world. What I did to really get good at hunter and get my rotation perfect, get movement perfect, I practiced. It wasn't about going into raids every single day, going to dungeons every day. I was on training dummies every day. There was another hunter that was the rank 1 hunter on my server. Me and him would party up. We'd be on our recount DPS and we'd be comparing DPS with very similar gear levels and seeing what we would do differently. What would you do in that? We were practicing. He wasn't even my guild, by the way. He was in a rival guild to mine. And we would do that nearly every day. Like, we practiced. We were so much above other hunters because that's what we did. We practiced. There was a tool to do it. It was the training dummies. We used it and we got really good. That's what this practice tool is. Like, you can't expect to get good at something if you don't practice. If you're trying to get good at baseball, it's not about just playing baseball every day. It's about practicing. You get a machine to throw a ball at you, you hit it. Every sport has practice. You're playing basketball, you go throw free throws for half an hour a day. Like, that's practice. So this is really good if they're making the practice tool more accessible and just better. That's not a negative.
we do think we've likely been too cautious here. So we're going to be giving Multiplayer Practice Tool a try.
Ooh,
You should see that on the PBE soon.
good.
It's an experimental feature, and we'll probably encounter an interesting range of bugs.
Yeah.
That said, though, we're looking into whether we can ship it as part of season start in January. And if that's not on
That's a
track,
positive,
we'll
man.
give you an update as to where it's up to.
Before we wrap up, one last seasons
Oh,
thing.
here we go.
We'll be changing up how we name patches to match seasons.
Oh.
So instead of patch 15.1 coming out in January, it'll be patch 25.s1.1, calling out the
God, okay.
year, season, and patch number. Season 2 will then kick off in patch 25.s2.1. You get the idea.
Okay, that is it from us today.
Oh, wow.
The next time you hear from us will be in January, at the start of the season. We'll be back then to share some extra stuff that'll come out later in Season 1. We do want to acknowledge, though, that we've covered most of the big changes that you'll see day 1 next year. That said, still got a few surprises left.
And of course, we'll have the cinematic to kick things off.
Hell yeah.
To no one's surprise, we can confirm that it's also going to focus a lot on Noxus and Noxian champions, but that's all we can share for now.
We hope you all have a great December.
Cool. So I would say, I had people in Twitch chat, by the way. I was in the game when this dropped, and I had people going, "Oh, Huz, you're not gonna..." I like a lot of this, like genuinely. Like, this is exciting for me. Like, the Arcane stuff is cool. The season stuff, you guys heard me. I said, "Oh my god, they're keeping 3 splits." They're not. 3 splits are gone. Like, there's no ranked reset within. It's just making it basically. When you played League of Legends years and years and years ago, the game it's the same from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, and there was no reset. So the game it could feel quite stale. And Riot has already said the reason why they even introduced splits, obviously, was to get people to play more, but they always had a dip at the middle of the year. People would play at the beginning of the year, people would play at the end of the year, because when ranked is starting and finishing, you want to achieve the rank, and they would have dips. So what I'm guessing is there's no ranked reset, so they're probably a bit worried, there might be a dip in the middle of the year. But that also tells me they probably lost more players doing 3 splits than they actually lost to having no splits. Because why would they revert it? It must have gone bad. And they just pushed the boat a bit too much. Like, people didn't want 3 splits. It felt like an absolute chore to get back to your just even normal rank. So for this season system, is what they're hoping. Yeah, your rank doesn't reset, but there's all this new stuff that is in the game. There's this new themes in the game. They're going to hope that it will keep people interested. That's what the hope is, clearly. So the only issue that I could foresee, partially, is Season 1 is Noxus. I like Noxus. A lot of people like Noxus. But what happens if someone really hates the thematic of Noxus? They're not going to love that. But then the same happens in Season 2. It's Demacia. Again, I don't mind. Like, I'm going to be honest, I don't massively care what the thematic's going to be. Some people will care a lot more. But there will be some people that will be kind of... There will be definitely people that will be more interested playing because of a thematic. But then the opposite is also true. They'll be like, oh, I don't like the map being all Noxusy. Oh, I might just not play much in Season 1 and I'll wait until Season 2 and it's all Bilgewater themed. That's the only negative I could see of that. But again, I don't think too many people are going to care ultimately what the thematic is. But then again, Riot will run into the problem they had years ago that there will be a dip of players in the middle of the year. But as I said, they must have lost more players doing these rank resets than what they used to lose in the middle of a year anyway. So that's why they're reverting it. So I'd say overall that's good. I do think it's really cool that it is becoming themed. As I said, I just don't care what theme it is. Like, I like Noxus. If this was Demacia, if this was Shurima, if this was Bilgewater, if this was Ionia, rinse and repeat. I think it's cool. I just to give the map a bit of an update every 3-4 months, that's not a negative. Like, fundamentally, the map is going to stay the same in how it performs. It's just the theme of it is changing. Think of it as a map skin. And obviously what's going to be asked by people is, if it's a map skin, can you just turn it back to default? The answer I could probably already say is going to be no. I bet that's 100% no. You can't turn skins off in League of Legends, the game. So you won't be able to turn this skin off the map. That's one thing I will say. But I think it's not that big of a thing. The boots are interesting. I think they do need to be careful with balancing in this term, but the fact that early game champions will have some reward when the game has been very late game skewed for a long time, I think that's cool. Again, presumably when it's no longer Noxus themed, it then will, the boot will become a Demacian themed boot or a Shuriman themed boot. I think the boot will just change. The only thing I would say is it does, feats of strength is a very Noxus thing. It's like your strength. So is that just a system that's now staying, but it's going to feel Noxus themed forever? I don't know. But overall, I think that's kind of cool. I love that towers, your Nexus towers are respawning. Again, I would guess it's either a 3-minute cooldown or a 5-minute cooldown. I like that. As I said, uninteractive gameplay is my nemesis. I do not like uninteractive gameplay. And one of the most uninteractive gameplays are people that are just split pushing by themselves, looking just to kill the Nexus by themselves. So the fact that these towers will respawn, it hurts that playstyle a bit. People will still do it, but it does hurt it a bit. So that's cool. I like that.
The backdoor cap.
Oh, I didn't mean to turn that on again. Anything else? The new boss, the fact that, again, it spawn location changes to where there's been more bloodshed in either top river or bottom river. I think it's cool. I still don't love the location of it, and I still think maybe they could have made the alcoves bigger, and then you could have it at the, the far end of the map of whichever side of the map has had more bloodshed. And also, how do you determine when it comes to mid lane if someone dies directly at mid? Is it just slightly which side they're on, I guess? Like, that's a bit odd, but sure. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. Baron obviously being pushed back to 25 minutes, I don't think is a negative. It's making the game more, a longer scale game. That's fine. But again, still having benefits in the early game for bloodshed. The battle pass system, it's fair enough. It's 2024, nearly 2025. You have to have something like this to be competitive in gaming. No ranked resets apart from one at the beginning of the year. Hell yeah, man. That makes it a less of a grind. You have the year to get to your rank. That to me is absolutely amazing. Swiftplay seems a better casual mode, that you're being less punished for not being as good or getting behind. That's not a negative for the more casual mode. And multiplayer practice tool, very good. But yeah, honestly, I'm a massive fan of 95% of this. I think this is a huge positive. And I don't think, and this is maybe even a dare thing to say, I don't think I've been as positive for an update of League of Legends for a long time. This actually excites me. Yeah, this actually excites me. I honestly, I think the biggest thing is the no ranked reset thing. I hated the rank reset, and I play this for a living at the moment. Like, I legit play 4 or 5 times a week, and I still hated the resets all the time because, again, it just felt punishing. It's like I got to the rank and then I reset again, and what? I got to do it again, and it's not even like. And I honestly think that hurt the game quality. I think Split 3 is so bad right now, and everybody's moaning about Split 3. Because the average player's mental is so tilted from being reset 2 times within 1 year. You have to remember, this is the first year that they reset it 2 times. Last year, they reset it once. This is the first year that it's happened 2 times within the year. And I think people are so tilted because they're like, I'm getting reset again? So I think that will really help the gameplay, even quality within the game. So overall, for me, massive positive. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'll literally upload this. It's going to be uploaded if I can do it within an hour, because that's when the first video of the day gets uploaded. But yeah. Also, just to say, if you're, it's actually kind of cool, but we're getting some, higher viewer numbers again a little bit. Make sure you check out my second YouTube channel, Huzzy Extra, if you're wondering, like, Huzzy used to upload 2 videos a day. I still upload 2 videos a day, but I just separate them on. One is here on HuzzyGames, one is on Huzzy Extra, and that's how I do it at the moment. So yeah, make sure you go watch and go subscribe on Huzzy Extra. It's the same content, it just is split up into 2 different channels because that is technically healthier for the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next time. Peace.